Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well on this lovely Sunday morning. Before we get into this video, let me go ahead and get you guys to do me a huge favor. Go ahead and like and go ahead and smash that notification bell so that you know when new videos are being uploaded. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And share it with a friend. Let somebody else know about the All Bets on Me channel. So, what I want to do is I want to introduce myself. I am LaShonda Walford. I am the founder of this amazing All Bets on Me community. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for choosing to be in this space with us. For the ones that has been rocking and supporting me since day one, thank you guys so much for all your love, all your support. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I don't take it lightly that you are choosing, listen to what I said, that you are choosing to be a part of the All Bets on Me community. So thank you. As you can see, I'm driving this morning. I have somewhere to be, but I wanted to come on and just talk to you guys a little bit. Something came to mind when I was driving, and so I said, let me just do a video for the community. So I'm gonna do a story time, guys, and the reason for the story time you will see at the end of the story time why I chose to do it. So for those of you, again, who are unfamiliar with me, I am LaShonda Walford. I'm the founder of this amazing All Bets on Me community. I am an entrepreneur. I am also a best-selling author. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a grandmother. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. But I want to share a part of my story, share the part that got me into my entrepreneurship role, and got me into the home care industry, which is one of the businesses that my husband and I own together. So when I was in my early 20s, I was married to my high school sweetheart. Our daughter at the time was 5 years old, and we were living our best life, right? I guess you could call it was just like a regular life, but it was our life. It was what we was choosing to do with our life, right? So we lived by our terms. By our terms, seriously, is how we lived. And it was great. So fast forward to the day our lives changed forever. December 20th, yes, 5 days before Christmas, my daughter and I left the house to go do some last minute Christmas shopping with my mom and just, spend time with them. And so we left the house, left my husband there. That was my husband at the time. Left him there. And he was going to meet up with us at my mom's house later that evening. But I noticed when my daughter and I was backing out the driveway, I noticed I still cannot, and even though it's been over 20 years, guys, I still cannot fully describe the look that I saw on his face. But anyway, as I was backing out our driveway, I looked up and I saw him standing in the door. And, he was just standing there watching us. Me and our daughter, he was just standing there watching us back out the driveway. But it was the weirdest look on his face, and I've never seen it before. And I haven't ever seen this look on anybody since then. And I looked up at him and I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like, why does he look like that? So I put the car in drive and I drove back up and I asked him, I said, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? And he's like, no, I'm okay. And I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah, he told me he was sure. He was okay. He said, I just love y'all so much. That's all. So I'm like, okay. So we love you too. So again, started proceeding to back out the driveway. And he just was still standing there, and I'm backing out the driveway, and I'm looking, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is, but you know, he said he okay, but okay. So I went on about my day. Finally got to my mom's house, which was about an hour away. So we get there, pick her up, we leave, we go, you know, do some shopping. And at that time, shopping was one of my favorite things to do. Like, it was, if I could choose, if I had to say what my favorite thing would have been, it definitely would have been shopping at that time. And so we were having a good time, enjoying ourselves, and all of a sudden, my head started to hurt really, really bad. It's almost like somebody took something and hit me in my head. I don't know, and it just kind of came out of the blue. And so I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I don't feel good. And so she teased me, you know, because that was unheard of. Again, shopping was one of my favorite things to do. And she's like, what? No, you not. I know you ain't ready to go. So, and I'm just like, no, Mom, really, I'm serious. Like, my head hurts so bad, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go. So the things that we had in our hands to purchase, we didn't even check out. We just kind of put everything back, and we left. We left and headed back to their house. When we got back to their house, I took something for my head, and I was just laying on the couch. I'm like, let me just lay down a minute, you know, to try to see if it'll pass. Like I said, I had taken something for my headache, Motrin or Tylenol, one of the two, I can't really remember. And so I was just laying on the couch trying to wait for whatever this was to get better or just pass, whatever. I just needed relief, right? And so as I was laying on the couch, the phone rang. Probably about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe, somewhere around in there after we had gotten back. And at that time, if you had a private number or your name or number didn't show up, you know, you had to say your name after the beep, right? And so I answered the phone, and it said, you know, call from, and then I heard my husband's mom voice on the other end. I heard her say her name, and so instantly I knew that something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew that something was wrong because she never called, right? And she called my mom's house. So, you know, so make a long story short, I pressed 1 to put her call through, and you know, we spoke, and then I heard her say, David has been involved in I think she said he's been involved in an accident. She said he's been involved in a shooting. He's been shot. But the thing that got me was she didn't know if he was dead or alive, right? She didn't know. Somebody had called her to tell her, and so she was calling the related information to me. After that, I really don't remember the rest of the conversation. I know that I lost it, and I know that my mom took over the phone call, and I just remember us being in the car rushing to get to Duke Medical Center in Durham. And you know, that drive felt so long. It felt like it took us hours to get there. And I remember on the way, my mom was trying to get in touch with my dad so that he could meet us there. So to make a real long story short, we get there and I am being bombarded by a team of doctors, nurses, and all other medical staff, lots of other medical staff. They want information. They're giving me a ton of information. But the bottom line is my husband had been shot. He had actually been shot 5 times. And one of the bullets severed his spine, leaving him paralyzed from the neck down. He needed a trach. He needed a ventilator to breathe. And, you know, that was the primary diagnosis. That was the number one factor in this whole entire thing that made it life-threatening for him. And so that's where majority of the decisions had to be made surrounding those things that they had given me, those facts that they had given me about my husband. So I made the decisions that I felt was best for him, and best for my family, which means, when I say my family, myself, my daughter, and my husband. And so, to make a long story short, guys, doctors gave my husband 24 hours to live. He surpassed that. He actually lived for about 7.5 years after that. Of course, he continued to needed the trach and the vent, like all of the mechanical medical devices to sustain his life. He needed for the entire 7.5 years. He could not go without the trach or the vent. He could not go without the feeding tube. He just could not go without those things. And so he required 24-hour coverage, like care. I had skilled nursing services for him. And whatever they didn't cover, I did myself. So I know you guys are wondering why I chose to share this story, and this is why. A lot of times when we go through things, we go through, one, it's unexpected. 2, it's so painful. You know, we can't even think outside of the pain, right? We cannot live outside of that pain. It is so paralyzing. And when something like this happens, you cannot find the why, right? It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense. And even though we're told everything happens for a reason, in that very moment, where's the reasoning? Like, you just want to know why. And so for me, that experience, I did not have my answers immediately, but going through that, God revealed to me my why. He revealed to me why we had to go through it. And so my reason for sharing this story is, if you are willing to sift through those painful situations to pull out the lessons, because in every situation, no matter how bad it is, there's a reason and there's lessons to be learned, right? But you have to be willing to sift through those painful events to pull out what you're to get from this, what lessons you're to learn from it, so that God can then show you how to connect the pieces and show you the why, which is exactly what happened to me. So my why from this situation fueled my purpose, right? And I know, over 20 years ago, I would have never imagined that situation would have played such a big role in my life now. But it has, and it will forever be a part of my life. And so that situation birthed my first business, which is Aiken's Helping Hands. Aiken's Helping Hands is my home health care agency that's based out of North Carolina. And it was birthed from that situation, right? It was birthed from that very situation that almost broke me. That very situation that caused me so much pain, that flipped my world upside down. Like, in an instant, everything was changed, and it felt like it was for the worst. And over time, God has shown me why. And I'm grateful for that experience, and I'm grateful for God choosing us to go through that, for choosing us out of all the people in the world. God looked down and he hand selected us. He hand selected us to go through that situation. And I will forever be grateful for that. Because anytime God hand picks you for anything, he has a much greater purpose for your life, and it's outside of that one situation. And so my tears, guys, is not from that situation. My tears is the gratefulness. And when I think about how God strategically planned this out, it just overwhelms me with gratefulness and thankfulness, and I'm just grateful, forever grateful for the situation. And so back to my point, you have to be willing to sift through the pain, no matter how bad it hurts, no matter how bad it felt when you were going through it, no matter how bad the memories are. Some of them are going to be bad, but you have to be willing to go through and just sift through it all, the entire situation. Pull out those things that you need so that you can get the lessons from it. Because for me, every situation that life threw at me that was meant to tear me down, make me give up, God has shown me how to turn it around. He's turned it around, but he's shown me how to take all of that, those negatives, and fuel it and put it into my passion. And so what I went through over 20 years ago still fuels my passion, guys. It still fuels me every day. And so no matter what the situation is that has a family that needs to call us for service, I'm grateful. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet that family because I know what they need. And I want to reassure them and let them know that it's okay. It's okay. I know that it hurts. You can get through it. We're here to support you. Yes, we're giving care, but we're going to support that family however we need to help them through this. And so I wanted to share that story so that you guys can see and understand there is a purpose and there's a reason for every single thing that we go through. There is. And I know that if you're going through, it's hard to understand why any of this is happening. It's hard to even think about what the positives are when you're going through. But I promise you, I want to encourage you to keep pushing. I want to encourage you today to sit down and just take a minute to process it all and just sift through and ask God, what am I to get from this? What is the reason why? Once you open up and ask him, he'll show you. He'll show you. So that is all I have for today. I hope this message was able to encourage and inspire someone on today. Even if it was just one person, then I felt like my job for today has been done. Reach out. If you say, LaShonda, I hear what you're saying, but I don't know where to start. I don't know how to sift through any of this. I'm trying to make sense of it. Reach out. Connect with me. Inbox me. I'm on Facebook, LaShonda Walford. Send me an inbox message. And we can walk through this together. We can walk through this together. You're not alone. I promise you, you're not. So guys, again, thank you for tuning in. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, please do. Like this video, share it, and feel free to leave me a comment. Give me your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing week. Stay encouraged.